Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about BioShock 2.
Yeah. Jumping in, the description is the halls of Rapture once again echo with sins of the past. Along the Atlantic coastline, a monster has been snatching little girls and bringing them back to the undersea city of Rapture. Players step into the boots of the most iconic denizen of Rapture, the Big Daddy, as they travel through the decrepit and beautiful fallen city, chasing an unseen foe in search of answers and their own survival.
All right, so a little background on the studio here. It's developed by 2K Marin and 2K Australia. So this is interesting. This isn't the studio from the first game. Instead, it got shipped off to one of their, subsidiaries or affiliate studios, something
probably
like that. 2K Marin itself, they've developed The Bureau, XCOM Declassified, which I think is like a DLC or maybe an additional game for XCOM.
Okay.
And then they're currently active, and they actually have no employees. So they exist as a company, and what I read was that any future BioShock game will come from them.
Ooh, okay.
So I think they kind of exist as like a placeholder, and then once they want to make more BioShock, this is somehow involved.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then 2K Australia, they were involved in all the BioShock games, actually, as well as Borderlands, the pre-sequel. They closed in 2015, like we talked about on the first game. So we got that. And then setting for this game, like the description talked about, BioShock 2 is in Rapture again, but most of the game takes place after the first game. So we've seen what Rapture's kind of fallen into since BioShock 1. And similar to the last game, there's splicers and different things like that. But they've added some new wrinkles to it. They've got these brute splicers as well as big sisters. So the brute splicers are like basically like a strong guy splicer.
Yeah, real big, thick guy.
Yeah, super buff.
Yeah.
And like punches the shit out of you.
Yeah, can fuck you up.
Big sisters are, I guess, grown-up little sisters, right? So they have the power. They're pretty agile and stuff like that. They're very hard to fight.
Yeah, they are. They're tough.
Because they've got some of the, I feel like, powers a Big Daddy would have, except they're way quicker.
And they have plasmids too.
Yeah.
Which most Big Daddies don't, except us.
Right. So they added some new challenging nemesis.
So here's the main characters we got. Subject Delta, which is who we are, and again, from the description, we're a Big Daddy, like one of the maybe original models of the Big Daddy, whatever. We got Augustus Sinclair. He's this kind of smooth-talking, maybe sort of questionable as to what his motives are, guide who leads you through Rapture.
Has a southern accent, too, like the last one, so it makes you a little,
you're
like, do I trust this guy?
I don't trust you. I did, but I didn't.
Right.
Sophia Lamb, she basically takes over as leader of Rapture after Andrew Ryan's killed and Fontaine's killed from the first game too. Eleanor Lamb is Subject Delta, your little sister who you were like guiding through Rapture or whatever, protecting, but she's actually the daughter of Sophia Lamb. So crazy.
And back then, you were bonded to, like, a little sister, as opposed to every little sister or multiple kind of thing. So, you bond with Eleanor.
Yeah, she can almost use, like, telekinesis to talk to you and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then you got Bridget Tenenbaum. She's the scientist who kind of made the little sisters, I think, right?
Yeah, and was in the first game.
Yeah. So those are kind of the main characters.
So, I guess the game begins with an introduction. It's 1958, and Subject Delta is patrolling Rapture with his little sister, Eleanor. Then, at one point, Eleanor gets separated from you by her mom, Sophia Lamb, and she uses a mind control plasmid on Delta that makes him shoot himself in the head.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a wild intro.
Yeah, seriously.
Then, 10 years later, you get woken up. You get revived by little sisters who were under control of Eleanor, and Delta, you end up being drawn back towards Eleanor because of this past connection you have from being her Big Daddy. She was your original little sister, and so there's a connection between you, and even so much so that if you are too far away from each other, it could, like, kill you.
Yeah.
So, as Subject Delta, you can't just leave. You can't just be like, well, I'm going to go, live in America instead.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Also, you're a big daddy, so you couldn't really do that anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Right, yeah. You know.
Yeah, you're stuck in the suit.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck being in the sea, I guess. Either way.
Sorry, guy.
Yeah. But so you can't leave, so you're kind of drawn to her. Pretty crazy that you could get revived and that you were somewhere they could find you. Like that's
I think you're like in the same spot.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
wild.
just killed you and left you there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So pretty wild. You've so in the time being dead or whatever, BioShock 1 happens and Sophia Lamb comes and all that stuff. So quite a bit that's gone on. It starts off and you wake up in a Vita chamber and you get contacted by Tenenbaum. And she tells us that Sophia Lamb is stealing young girls to make little sisters, and she needs this to be stopped. So that's the missing girls along the Atlantic coast. Is Sophia Lamb's taking them from their homes and then using them to create more little sisters.
Pretty fucked up.
Yeah, super shitty. Tenenbaum also tells us that we're an older model of Big Daddy, so we're bonded to Eleanor. Our body will shut down if we're too far away from her, like we mentioned. So we get this information from her. All right. We're basically on a mission we have to do. Whether or not we would agree with it, we'll die if we don't. So
let's do it.
Yeah, so let's do it. Your starting weapon is a drill.
The iconic Big Daddy drill.
Yep.
And it definitely is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely cool. Then you find a rivet gun, which is pretty cool. It's not as powerful as a machine gun. It's almost like shooting. Are they bolts essentially?
Yeah, they're little rivets, bolts.
Because you'd like for welding outside, essentially if you were out there. Yeah, except you get to shoot people with them.
I love the rivet gun.
Yeah,
my favorite.
I wasn't a fan of it starting, but once I upgraded it, I really
all the way
liked
up.
it. Yeah.
It lights people on fire.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's sick. I like it because it shoots pretty fast. So
and you get headshots. It's just like it just feels really satisfying.
Yeah, it does. It became a pretty cool gun. And then you get your first plasmid, the electricity one, and so this is kind of where you start off. In this time, too, you end up fighting a big sister for the first go, and I think starting off, I might have got beat a couple times, even, because I wasn't used to being a big daddy, for me.
Yeah,
personally, because at the beginning, I wasn't that great with my rivet gun or with my drill, so...
Yeah, you're kind of fucked then.
Yeah, I was at the beginning, I was like, man, I'm not as good with these weapons. I'm not fast either.
Yeah, pretty slow. I don't remember if I died. I think I survived fighting the big sister. I think I just felt throughout the whole game pretty overpowered, and not in a bad way, but like I was like, I'm a big daddy. I'm gonna kill anyone.
Like you were overpowering to everyone else.
Yeah, basically, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I felt like as I leveled up and like got used to being a big daddy, I felt that way. But at first, I was like, man, fuck, this is harder than I wanted it to be at first.
Yeah.
But I think I just wasn't good at either weapon at first, so it slowed me down. After this, we end up having our first interaction with Sophia Lamb, and she sends splicers to attack us. She basically tells us, like, you won't get my daughter, like, you're bad, kind of thing.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. After we're fighting them off, we end up meeting Bridget Tenenbaum briefly, and she ends up fleeing with some other kids that she's rescued, but introduced us to Augustus Sinclair, and is like, hey, he's your friend, and he'll guide you to Eleanor the rest of the way, but, like, I gotta go and take these girls away.
Yeah, so she leaves Rapture, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good.
Yeah, so she gets out of there, which, yeah, is probably good.
Yeah. Otherwise,
yeah,
she'd probably be dead.
Yeah, right. So I think it's good she got out of there. It was kind of weird because she's our guide for, I don't know, maybe an hour of the game or something. Like, it's pretty brief before she passes us off to Augustus Sinclair, which was kind of like, I don't know this dude. And like we mentioned up top, having this like nice guy Southern accent kind of thing, you're like, I don't know. I remember last game what my guide was like, so you feel a little apprehensive, or at least I did.
I did too, and I guess I trusted Bridget.
Yes.
A lot from the first game, but also because she was doing something good. It's like, all right, you're not a piece of shit. You're not going to try to get me killed. Right. So if you trust this guy, I somewhat do. At least enough to, like, start following him.
Right.
But definitely the whole time I was like, first chance I get, if you're bad, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
But yeah, I was definitely kind of suspicious.
Yeah. Same. At this point, you get into a train that Atlas is able... Or not Atlas.
Yeah.
There we go. That's who I was worried about. Right. Yeah. Atlas is who I was concerned being.
He's bad.
Sinclair. Sinclair is able, he's not driving it exactly, but he's controlling it from somewhere for us. And so we get in this train that's going to head us through Rapture. And this ends up being a large way of how we get through Rapture. Is we'll get to a certain station, and then it'll be blocked up, and we'll have to get out and deal with the station, and then we'll be able to get through in some manner. So we do this for a while. And our first real place we end up is Ryan's Amusement. So it's kind of a amusement park type deal that was made by Andrew Ryan. Seeing this one and really the rest of Rapture as we go is it's definitely gotten dilapidated. Like
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's like water on the ground sometimes. There's stuff's cracked, shit like that.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad.
Yeah,
decrepit. Could go at any moment.
Yeah, it feels like there could be parts where it's like, okay, we don't go to this section anymore because the wall burst, or something like that. Like it feels like it could get that way. And in this section, through the game, you again, like in the last one, there's a lot of journals and stuff like that. But something I really liked in this game is you got to get a lot of Andrew Ryan's old journals.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. And you definitely got some here and kind of seeing what he was thinking, and even as he was on his way to being crazy Andrew Ryan.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, like you get a little bit of the progression, or him like, all right, like I might become crazy soon, or like that sort of deal. So it was pretty cool. I liked Ryan's Amusements quite a lot. Here we get in this level we're able to get our machine gun and the fire plasmid. This is where I started having a lot of fun.
Fire plasmid's the best
because I love the fire plasmid.
Oh yeah, like, so good.
Yeah, I'm letting everyone on fire.
Yep.
That was like my go-to.
I would just fire him and then him in the face with a rivet, and it was like a instant combo kill.
Yeah.
For most enemies.
Yeah. Oh, man, it was so great. That was the best. Also, this is your first time you end up fighting a Big Daddy, and you can take their little sister or harvest them. And so this introduces the little sisters element of the game, which is, as their Big Daddy, what you can do is take them around to people to harvest, which are kind of randomly scattered through the map, who have almost like wind, like thing around them that kind of indicates they're good to harvest. They have Adam. And so you can choose to take a little sister around and then harvest, I think maybe 2 people per little sister.
Yep.
I think what it was. And then you could then choose to harvest your little sister after that.
Yeah.
Or you could send them back through the vent and then get another little sister later.
Yeah, so some of the trade-off here is if you go around with little sister to have her harvest different corpses, you get more Adam.
Right.
But you also have to fend off enemies while she's harvesting because it like attracts them somehow.
Right.
And then at the end, you can either harvest from her again, or not again, but for the first time and basically kill her, or you can let her go. Either way, you get some some Adam.
Right.
Or you could skip all that and just harvest her straight off, but you get less Adam.
You get less Adam if you harvest her initially.
Yeah.
But your game is much faster.
Yeah.
That's the big difference, and that was a tension I definitely felt as the game went on. Is so, as you go further, you end up with maybe 2 to 3 little sisters on basically each level.
Yeah, so there's probably like 10 total.
Yeah.
It can take a while.
It can take a while, and so what you can choose to do is, as we said, all of those things. And so if you choose to go the long way and save all the little sisters, your game definitely can go slower because you're exploring more of the map. You're finding these people who need harvested to get their Adam. Versus if you just harvest them immediately and then continue on. So,
yep, and move forward.
Yeah, so there's a give and take. I guess, I mean, we'll end up seeing more later, but for me, I did save all of them and did the long way harvesting.
Same.
You did the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, just from the last game, I killed all of them, so.
Yeah, last game I killed all of them too, so.
Yeah, this time I was like, I should probably not do that.
Yeah.
Also, I felt bad being a Big Daddy, like they're trusting me.
Yeah.
So part of me was like, this just seems more evil.
Yeah.
But they're all, I don't know. It was weird. I guess if I was a normal person again, I'd probably still harvest them all. But because I was a Big Daddy, I felt like I shouldn't.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't harvest them because I didn't want to be bad either. Just from the last game, it's like it's probably bad to harvest them. But part of me had worried they were tricking me on that. So. Yeah,
because they tricked you in the first game.
Yeah, so I think that BioShock 2, like one of my biggest takeaways from it is being afraid of being tricked.
Yep, for sure.
So I'm like, okay, before harvesting little sisters was bad. is it still bad?
Yeah, or is it good now?
Or
Yeah.
is my guide a good person or a bad person? Like I felt like I kept having moments of mistrust seeded through it because of how I felt. I don't know if that's what BioShock 2's goal was, or if that's how everyone felt back then. But I definitely felt mistrusting the whole way, and so it made me question myself, which I kind of liked for the game. But yeah, I did the long way. I think doing it the long way, though, I definitely felt tired of it at points. And I was like, do I want to change my mind so that the game can go faster? Like, it made me wonder. I wish they were maybe a little slower, or if there was maybe one less little sister on each level. I think I could have been a little more happy with that, because sometimes it felt like a grinding more than I would want.
For sure. Yeah, it was kind of annoying sometimes. Because you also... did you have to harvest or get each little sister before you can move on to the next level? I don't remember. Because there's sometimes... Oh, it would warn you. Like,
it would warn you not to.
But I think you could move forward.
Yeah, I think it would warn you not to.
So yeah, I think I got every single one.
Yeah, I did all
So
of
I felt
them too.
like I should.
One time I almost didn't, and I got the warning, and I was like, fine, I'll go figure it
Yeah,
out.
it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill her, though.
Right. Yeah. So then, yeah, I think that was it one time. And so, there's that. After this, you go to Popper's Drop and Siren's Alley. You end up finding Grace Holloway. You end up looking for her to get a key from her. So she's been kind of the sub-boss for Sophia Lamb
So
in a
far,
lot of
yeah.
ways.
Yeah, and I guess going forward, there's like 3 sub-bosses, kind of.
Yeah, who you end up interacting with. And
Yeah.
Grace Holloway, I believe, was basically like the caretaker for Eleanor. And so she's like trying to protect Eleanor from you.
Yeah, she thinks you're bad.
Thinks you're bad. It's kind of the deal. And so she's sent splicers after you, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what you need to do is get a key from her that will allow the train to pass through this section of the map.
Yep.
Ultimately, you kill your way to her, killing all the splicers and stuff. And then you have the opportunity to choose to kill her or not kill her.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't kill her.
I didn't either.
She, when talking to her, it seemed like she thought we were something different than what we were, and like that sort of thing. And so I was like, it's cool.
Yeah, she seemed brainwashed, or at least lied to by Sophia Lamb. So I was like, I'm going to not prove her point here and let her live.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought there.
That was my thought, too. And I'm glad I did. Later on, she even radios us and sends us some robots to help for a little while.
Yeah, she's pretty helpful.
Stuff like that. So it was cool that seeing you help someone and it was a good thing. Mm-hmm. Instead of then she tries to shoot you later.
Yeah,
or
that she
something.
kills you.
Yeah. So that was cool. After this, you continue through. You end up. I don't think he was one of the big bad 3, but a sub bad. You end up fighting Father Simon Wales. Or was he one of the big 3?
He
sub bads.
I
forget.
He was I would call him one of the bosses.
Okay.
Because basically you have to he's easier to get to.
Right.
But I think you have to. I mean, you don't really have a choice. You have to kill him basically. Cause
right.
He'll just kill you if you don't. But you need to get something from him to move on, I think, too.
Yeah.
So I would call him a quote unquote sub boss.
Okay. Yeah, that fits. Yeah, because I remember I had to kill him, and I remember he was reasonably powerful, but it wasn't the same as getting that choice of kill or not kill.
Yeah.
So you fight him. As you're continuing on, the train car gets destroyed, and you have to rescue Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, he's in, I think, a different part of the train car than you were.
Yeah.
Maybe you were in the first passenger seat.
I think you're in the front.
And then he's in the driver's seat in front of it, maybe, or something.
Sure, yeah. I had a different one.
Yeah, something like that. It gets smashed, though, and we go through Rapture, essentially under Rapture into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to save Sinclair.
Oh, yeah, which this brings up a point, too. There's some, really cool points where you'd be outside of Rapture, because you're a big daddy, you can survive and walk on the ocean floor. That was some pretty cool scenery, I guess, or, it was a nice wrinkle to the game. You could go outside and you could look in through the windows and see big sisters or other people doing stuff.
Yeah,
it was kind of crazy.
I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. And just how cool the ocean floor looked.
Yeah, they did that really well.
Yeah.
Did you ever find those slugs to get the atom from?
Maybe once.
Yeah, I got a bunch. There's a bunch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just would not leave until I was all right, I got every single slug.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think I found one on accident near the end of walking. like near the end of the game, so I didn't know I could do that. But
Yeah, it was probably good for like an extra 100 total throughout the game,
still,
which bought me a plasmid.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I guess now that this is a sidebar too, but I liked in this one that you had your standard, I don't know what, 5 plasmids you can have, 6 plasmids you can have on you, like your fire and electricity and stuff like that. But then you had the like 18 inactive plasmids that just, they weren't...
They're passive.
Yeah, they're the passive plasmids, but they also weren't grouped. It wasn't like in the last game where you had the 4 slots where you had 6 of each. Instead, here it was just you have 18 free-for-all. And so that was pretty cool as
better.
As you could upgrade them, because you were like, okay, I don't really like this plasmid, or it hasn't helped, or I don't play that way. Cool, I'm going to upgrade and use this one. And it helped, I don't know, curate your abilities, your passive abilities in a cool way.
Yeah, there was one plasmid I got. I think it was Drill Master or like something like that, where you couldn't use any weapons except your drill.
Oh, cool.
But it like doubled your power and made fuel go way slower, and it also made plasmids cost like almost nothing to use. So you could just like you just like would murk people with, I'd fire and then hit them with the drill and kill them.
So you like fought that way only for a while?
For a while. Then I went back to the guns because I like the rivet gun a lot. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they had some cool things like that, or there'd be certain ones I think for I don't know. There was like one that froze your drill or made it on fire. Or, they had a lot more like...
I think I did have the freeze drill one.
Yeah,
briefly.
they could make you change your playstyle a lot, which is pretty cool compared to the first game.
Yeah, that is cool. They definitely upgraded in that department, I think. And even the... a complaint I remember having on the first game is that it was hard to know what those plasmids did before you bought them. This one, it was far more clear.
Yep.
And so when you were upgrading your, I don't know, extra 18 or whatever, you're like, okay, do I want to lose this for the sake of that? Or like, instead of feeling like you're rolling dice a little bit. So I really liked that. I thought that was a big improvement.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. After you rescue Sinclair, you end up at Dionysus Park from the first game. And there's a guy named Stanley Poole there who wants you to get rid of the little sisters in the area before he'll let you pass through. And he's kind of like in the first game where there was the guy who wouldn't open the door till we like took pictures.
Yeah, annoying.
Yeah, similar kind of like annoying guy. His thing was, I guess, that he's been hiding here because Sophia Lamb thinks that no one's in Dionysus Park and that it's essentially been empty. And so he's been just kind of scrounging on his own. He has a whole section of Rapture to himself. But little sisters have started to come there, and he's like, no, I don't want that, because if they think that there's Adam here, then other people will come. And so if you can get rid of them for me so no one's here, that would be good. And so we're like, all right, fine, whatever. This might have been where I felt like harvesting took a long time.
Yeah,
specifically.
You have to
clear.
You have to get all of them.
You have to get all of them, and I think there's 3 in this one.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying.
It was kind of a lot. You go through, ultimately harvest, do your thing. Then once you get up and Poole's like, okay, cool, I'll let you through. Sophia Lamb comes over the intercom and says that Poole was the one who did all of this to us, that he turned us into a Big Daddy in the first place. Basically, the bad parts of our life are his fault. Yeah.
So you have the choice to kill or not kill here.
Yes.
What'd you do?
I let him live.
Me too.
I think, again, I didn't like that he did that to us, but, I don't know. That's what Sophia Lamb wants, is for us to kill him.
Yeah, for sure. That's the only reason she told us. I'm not going to be your puppet. Yeah, so I same reason, didn't kill him.
Yeah, I was like, that's giving her...
And playing good. I want to play as good as I can here.
Right. That was kind of my thought. And, maybe this guy can... Once we deal with Lamb someday, presumably, then maybe this guy will be able to be a better part of Rapture because we showed him something different or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But...
Yeah, not the case, but that was kind of the thought.
Yeah.
After this, we move on to Fontaine Futuristics, and we need to get a key from Alex the Great to move forward. And so this guy was a guy who was a scientist. I think he maybe became the main scientist after the first game.
Yeah, I think he was really involved in plasmids.
Right, because the idea being is that little sisters, because of who they are or how they're made or, whatever, how they get where they are, they can handle having plasmids in their body. And Big Daddies, or at least us, we also can. but for whatever reason, regular adults can't have plasmids because it makes them go crazy.
Yeah, or too much, I guess.
Yeah, which is what happened to him.
Uh-huh.
Because he tried to like use the plasmids on himself to see if he could have them, but instead it like overloaded him essentially and made him a crazy guy.
Yeah, something like that. It was kind of this part got so. This was the part of the game I was like, I want to see what happens, and I wasn't like pissed that I had to play it, but it took a while. So essentially what happens here is like he leaves, so he knows he's going to go crazy. So he like leaves these, I don't know, what are they called? The notes, the journals.
Yeah.
Journals for you to find to kind of help you get to him basically to kill him.
Right.
And it just took a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, this part was hard. The middle of this game, I would say, lagged a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the beginning of it. Once I, like, got the machine gun in the fire, I was pretty in. And then I like the end where it gets and stuff. But there was a middle stretch where I was like, it's not a chore, but it's less exciting or fun than I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it felt kind of just similar to... Because you have to find this sub-boss, kill him, get this thing, move forward.
Right.
Like, it felt like it was almost filler until you get to... Well, what happens with Sophia Lamb and Eleanor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
At least from my opinion.
Yeah, so that was a little... like, and I thought the concepts were cool. Like, I like the idea that... Because Sophia's Lamb thing was like that little sisters can inhabit, like, the history of Rapture and plasmids and, like, basically be the perfect humans.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, it doesn't work for adults. And that's how Alex the Great gets here. Is he tried to do it on himself, and instead he just became an insane person.
Yep.
So it's kind of an interesting idea, because Eleanor, being one of the first little sisters, she's supposed to be essentially the perfect specimen.
That's the goal, yeah.
Yeah, she could be the perfect one. So see if Sophia wants her to be one thing.
Yeah, I think so. With all the when little sisters harvest Adam from people, I think the goal was to give that to Eleanor, and then you also get the memories of the people you harvested it from.
Right.
So you kind of get the genetic memories and all this shit. So she kind of has all the greatest minds in Rapture, all their thoughts and memories and all that, and like in her head. Right. Which is kind of the goal.
Right. And so Eleanor or other little sisters, as they get older, they can handle that. But a guy like you or me or Alex the Great can't handle that.
Yeah.
Our bodies will freak the fuck out.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of an interesting idea, but a little chore, for sure.
Yeah, at this point, yep.
Ultimately, you because Alex leaves you clues as he's getting crazy, like Jordan said.
And I think you can choose to kill him or not kill him.
Okay.
Did you?
I don't remember that.
I definitely killed him.
I think I killed him.
Because this seemed like a good choice, because he wanted to die.
Yeah. I think I might have killed him then. I don't remember getting to choose, so maybe I killed him.
Maybe you have to, actually.
Yeah, if you don't... I think you have to, because I feel like I killed him.
I definitely killed him.
Because I felt like it seemed similar to the Father Simon thing, where it was like maybe you had to kill him, but maybe you did have a choice, but it was the right thing to kill him. I don't quite remember.
I for sure killed him.
After this, you see Eleanor asleep. So we see Eleanor asleep, and we go try to save her, but then Sophia Lamb captures and sort of kills us. It's like we're back.
We're like paralyzed, kind of, somehow.
Yeah, we're like fucked up. Then, while we're paralyzed, and I think either to be dead soon, like it seemed somewhat similar to how we started the game of a situation. We're like on a table, like we're donezo.
Yep.
And so we're like restrained on this table, but then what we're able to do is mind control a little sister that we used to go to wake up Eleanor. So this is pretty crazy because we end up switching from our Big Daddy view to being a little sister.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, this was maybe one of my favorite parts of the game. So you inhabit a little sister, and you're walking around, and you see the world as she sees it, which is nuts.
Yeah, it's like perfect.
Yeah, it's like a perfect world. She sees like people in gowns and tuxedos and stuff like that, like what Rapture probably looked like day one.
Yep.
Like that's how she sees it, and she's walking around, but then it'll cut to what it's really like.
It's
and
just terrible.
And she's like harvesting someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm getting Adam from the pretty lady, or something like that. And
yeah, but in
like,
her mind, it's like this really nice thing.
Right.
She's killing someone or killing or stabbing a dead person or whatever.
Right.
Gave me some more sympathy for him, I think.
Yeah, and seeing like blood around. Yeah, it made it seem like the little sisters certainly aren't bad willingly.
Yep. No, definitely not. They just have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, it seems like instead they're almost like drug fueled,
Yep.
and this is like just what they do. But it was super cool and trippy seeing the world from this lens. I really, really like that. After this, we go and wake Eleanor up, who is going to then try to help us ourselves, because Eleanor was knocked out by her mom, essentially, and used as kind of bait for us to try to get us. So we wake Eleanor up. Eleanor then is able to get us back into our normal body. We're back to being a big daddy.
Yeah, and she also goes into a big sister suit too.
Yeah.
So she's not like a really big sister. She has some kind of weird powers because she can like teleport and stuff.
Right.
And she can use plasmids, so maybe that's just the power is plasmids. But so she's not like locked into the suit like we are. We're part of it, but she definitely uses it going forward.
Right. I wonder if little sister or if big sisters are always that way. Like if they're not like us where they're locked in, but like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Definitely cool.
No idea.
Either way. So she's able to get in a little sister seat, though, and at this point, she's kind of our co-person, which is pretty cool. You know, through neither game, you had an ally who you fought alongside, but you actually get that with Eleanor.
Yep.
And a plasmid you get is one she gives you where it's like a call for help one, essentially.
Yeah.
So if you're fighting and you want some help, hit it, and then she'll come and fight with you.
I never used it. I felt like something bad was going to happen if I used it. Like she was going to get killed or something. So I was like,
I think I used it twice. Once when I didn't need it, but I just wanted her to come fight. She kicks ass.
Yeah.
She's like awesome at fighting.
Yeah.
And then one time I used it because I needed help because I didn't prepare very well.
Yeah, no ammo.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of ammo. Well, and I didn't like set up my turrets like I should have or like that kind of stuff. So I was at this spot where I'm like running around without a lot of money, and I'm just like, so I can't buy as much plasmid stuff as I need. So I'm like, ugh. Near the end of the game, my money kind of came into play where I was like, fuck, I got to do this right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So after this, we find out that Lamb had captured Sinclair and put him in a Big Daddy suit, and she now controls him. And so,
sucks.
Yeah, which sucked because he's been a good guy.
He actually ended up being a good dude.
Yeah, and we end up having to kill him to be able to get the key to move on. But he even tells us like, "Dude, you got to kill me," like, which was good. It was his body that was fighting against us, not his like mind or heart or whatever. Like, as a person, he wasn't against us, but his body had to be because he was controlled. So we kill him. We get the key to be able to continue forward. Ultimately, we end up in this kind of final room where there's like an escape pod, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
Where Eleanor has gathered some of the little sisters, the remaining little sisters, I guess, or the ones she could find or whatever, to escape on it. And she's in there. And she's like, okay, what we can do is like heat this up so it will get out because the hatch is like fucked up or whatever. But we need to kill off people to be able to like have enough time to escape. This is where I ran into my money problem.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of enemies.
There's a lot of enemies, and I fucked up and didn't see where the pipes were for a while. So I made this level last way longer than it needed to.
Nice.
Yeah, I fucked up. I thought it was a time thing for a while. So I'm like, why isn't this ending? So I was running into this part where I'm like running out of money, running out of bullets and plasmids, and I'm like using guns I don't use.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I need to blow those up. Cool.
Yeah.
So
easy.
Yeah. So I made this last longer than I should have. Ultimately, you blow up these pipes after Eleanor says we're good. You blow it up, and she like blasts the hatch off. You blow the pipes up. It like blows up Rapture, and like you run for like a tunnel where she'll like meet you and pull you up to make it out, essentially.
Yeah, because I think one of the big things here is Sophia Lamb had set something up so that Rapture would blow up, and like it was on top of this really crazy ravine in the ocean. So I mean, it falls down there and you're done.
Right.
So I think that like you're racing against that is she's going to blow this up, or there's like an hour left or something like that.
Right.
So if you hadn't gotten out, you would have fallen to the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
Which would suck.
Yeah. It'd be insane. At this point, you get to your endings. Like in the last game, there's multiple endings. Or more than one ending, I guess. In this one, there's multiple. In the last one, you basically got a good or bad.
Yeah.
This one, you get kind of a good, bad, neutral options. So, you're kind of yeah, I guess there's kind of 3 ways this can go with a variant within it. So, your good ending happens if you save all the little sisters and the characters that you have choices on. Your neutral ending is you save some and you harvest some, and you, at the end of it, you have a choice of whether to live or die when you reach, not land, but the top of the platform on the top of Rapture or whatever. In the good one, or I guess for the good one too, you have like a nice discussion with Eleanor kind of thing. And she's like, you've been a good dad sort of deal. And like, I model my character after you, and like, me and these little sisters will do good for the world. And then the neutral one, you have a conversation, and she's sort of reflective of how you've talked, but is, it's a little out there. It's like not as certain. And you have an option to either ask her to let you live or die, so you can have her like kill you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or I think ask you to live, but I guess I'm not sure how that would work functionally since you're a big daddy. Like,
yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know if you just have to like stay at your house or something. I don't know.
Or just be a fisherman.
Right. Yeah, I'm not 100% how that would work practically. And then your bad ending, of course, is if you harvest all the little sisters and kill all the characters. And this one, then she's gonna like basically be what Sophia Lamb kind of wanted her to be.
Nice.
And will like destroy the world. Sort of deal. And then Sophia Lamb can either live or die based on your choices in the game too. So in mine, since I didn't kill those characters I had options to, Eleanor ends up saving Sophia anyway while she's like drowning.
Yeah.
But if you kill those characters, instead Eleanor, I think, maybe gets in the water, but then she just lets her drown.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Which is pretty wild. So for me, I got the good ending. I also Lamb lived because I didn't kill those people.
Yeah, we got the same ending because we played the exact same.
Yeah, we both
didn't harvest anyone and saved everyone we could.
Yeah, so good endings. I'm glad to have gotten them.
Yeah, me too. Good change from the first one.
Yeah, because the first one, I wish the first one would have had a more neutral ending. I would have liked to see one that was like, because I did neutral on that one. I saved some, then I killed some, and then I saved some again once I found out.
I went totally bad.
Yeah, it was bad. So I would have liked to have seen that. But so those are our endings. Vale on Twitter wrote in, said, I got 100% good ending on my first and only playthrough. I saved all the little sisters. I spared all of my enemies. Eleanor ended up saving Sophia's life and stayed with Delta as he died. It was beautiful, heartbreaking, and ultimately bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris on Twitter says, I got the bad and neutral endings at first. Then I got the really good ending where all the sisters were rescued.
Yeah. So playing the bad style there.
And all
cool.
3.
Yeah, that's cool. So I guess moving on to our kind of general thoughts about BioShock 2. Something I really liked was the contrast of Sophia Lamb versus Andrew Ryan. So Sophia Lamb, she's like a collectivist. She's like a for the greater good kind of thing. So she like essentially has made Rapture into a cult in this, and it's called like the family, and everything's for the family. And so like she thinks, only the fam. So she like sees Eleanor as the thing that will lead the family the best because she has all of Rapture in her, that the whole world could actually become part of the family through someone like Eleanor. That's kind of her grand vision, it seems.
Yeah.
And so her thing is right for the greater good. It's that style of thing. And this is cool because it's an awesome contrast to the individualism of Andrew Ryan. So Andrew Ryan instead is like, you can make the world whatever you want it to be, self-made man, like that whole deal. And so it's pretty cool. It's going just in these very different, I guess, paradigms or what the people are like. So I like that as a new villain. We didn't just get another Andrew Ryan or something like that, but instead you have someone who's changed the whole scope of what Rapture's like.
Completely changed it, yeah. And it's cool because even going throughout the game, you get these journals from Andrew Ryan where he's talking about Sophia Lamb, and they clearly have a bunch of differences, which makes sense in light of the fact that they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah, you kind of get some background on like their struggle against each other, and Andrew Ryan ultimately won, but then clearly didn't win because he's dead. But yeah, that's a good point about totally different perspectives in the first and second game. I didn't really pick up on that much either.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You saw that.
Yeah, really cool. Good way to make new villains. I thought that was cool. And what Rapture could become, like, pretty cool.
I already mentioned this. I felt like, not even in a bad way, but playing as a Big Daddy, I think they did it well because you really felt like a Big Daddy. Because in the first game, it took a lot of shit to kill a Big Daddy. And this one, it's like, yeah, I mean, I was pretty hard to kill, which was cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, after my first part, before I got used to that stuff, I think that was the only time I died. I think the rest of the game I didn't die. Once I was like, I knew what I was doing, I was totally fine. Like, it was like, cool, I'm a Big Daddy, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm going to murk everyone.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking kill everyone. They're all going to be on fire.
Yep, and then headshotted or whatever.
Right. Shot with a burning rivet.
Yep, burning rivet. Yep. I love the fire.
Yeah, that was the best. I also liked getting to see different parts of Rapture. In the first game, there were some repeats of locations, but there were other new ones. And then getting to go outside and be in the water and stuff, like we mentioned. Like, I liked getting more of Rapture. It was cool. Just, I don't know. This world's so interesting that getting to see what a perfect utopia looks like after it's kind of gotten shitty.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, once it's become a little shitty and a cult's taken over.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that was pretty cool. I definitely liked that.
Yeah, me too. I really like to see what happens, or what happened after the first game. Like, I don't know how many, 5 years later, something like that. Where it went downhill pretty fast.
Yeah.
I really like seeing that, but also I like seeing that there's still regular people there too, like Bridget or Augustus Sinclair,
right?
Or Grace Holloway. Like, there were still normal people there.
Right. It wasn't only splicers,
which was kind of crazy. How do you survive here?
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to stick around once.
Yeah. But also, how do you leave? Like, I don't.
That's true too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pretty crazy. So I like seeing that, the post game one, just chaos.
Yeah, that was cool.
I guess 2 quick points. There wasn't as many, so there wasn't like a big major twist in this game, but I think it was okay because, like I think we described earlier, it felt like there was going to be one every time. There wasn't, so it was almost a twist that there was no twist.
Right.
So they tricked me.
Yeah. I think I had all the prepared feelings for it.
Yeah.
And I think because I felt that way, if they had a twist, I don't know if it would have worked, because I would have been like, well, duh.
Yeah, saw this coming.
Yeah. Like, if Eleanor would have just, like, killed you once you saved her or something, you'd be like, oh, duh. Like, of course.
Yeah, saw this coming.
Yeah, or something like that.
Again. Bamboozled.
Yeah. Right. But instead, thinking it's coming and then it doesn't, was kind of cool.
Yeah. So it was, like, almost a twist in itself, I guess.
Yeah.
And, we also mentioned this, too, but I think the ending was way better in this one than in the first game, because there was multiple endings, and it felt like you earned the ending. Because the first game, from what I remember, you kind of, it ends, and then it just kind of was like a quick, like, 10-second little, like, here's what you did, and here's why it happened at the end. Like, you took over the world, or tried to, or you didn't.
Right.
So it's almost like you didn't really get to experience it, but this, you kind of more got to experience the results of your actions, and there was multiple endings too, which was cool.
Yeah. And I like that with those people you could kill or not kill and the Little Sisters, there was more things encompassing it rather than just the Little Sisters.
Yeah.
Like in the first game. Because otherwise, you know, in the first game, it was strictly based on that, and it was pass-fail. You kill one Little Sister, you automatically get the bad one.
Bad, yep.
Which kind of sucks. Like, you know, that you could do that not knowing what you're doing, or on accident or something, like not trying to play evil and still get it. So I like that this one had that variance.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess for some listener feedback, just generally about the game, Tomorrow Heart on Twitter wrote in and said, "You can definitely tell it's not made by the same developers who made BioShock 1 and Infinite, but it's still really damn good. I think it's really underrated and also has an amazing DLC." Yeah, with that, we haven't played the DLC, but we do want to and are planning to. So hopefully later this month, we'll end up putting an episode out on that. So Minerva's Den, apparently it's quite good. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it.
Yeah. I think this is probably voted by, you know, most people, which is an opinion, probably the worst BioShock game from what I've read online. But I liked it. I mean, I think I liked the first one better because it was the first one, but I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say it's underrated too.
Yeah, I think so too. It's pretty good. I would say it's a pretty solid game. I didn't comment on this earlier, but that was something that I did way different in this game. Is I read way more journals and like that sort of stuff. And I think I got better Rapture stuff in this game in some senses because I did more of that stuff that gives you background. And I feel kind of dumb and like I cheated myself in BioShock 1 because I didn't read that many of them.
Yeah, it really adds to it.
It does. And so I think it helps with that a lot. And I don't know. It's definitely cool. A solid entry. Like, if this is the worst entry in your franchise of games, it's still pretty good.
That's not a bad problem to have.
Especially since the way people talk about Infinite being really great. Like, and I liked BioShock 1 quite a bit. So, like, if this is your 3, like, this is still pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we got Rebecca on Twitter says, I liked it as much as the first one. Loved the addition of dual wielding and the combat mechanics, and thought the story was almost as good as the original, especially in the DLC. She asks, have you read the Rapture prequel novel? It's really good and bridges the little gaps between 1 and 2 nicely. I'm excited to play the DLC. I've heard that's really good. I guess we've sort of mentioned that. But I really like the dual wielding too. That made it way better. You don't have to switch between like, I'm going to use a gun then a plasmid.
Yeah.
You can just do both and just frick people up.
Yeah, that was super cool.
That was really cool.
That was great. I'm definitely interested in the prequel novel too.
I've not read it.
I think it's either before BioShock 1 or it might... I think it's before BioShock 1, but it might be between 1 and 2.
Okay.
I forget which one.
Either way.
Yeah, either one.
I'll probably read it.
Yeah, sounds really great. Like, more Rapture, I'm interested. Especially to get more stuff with, like, an Andrew Ryan type character. Like, I'm interested in this guy.
Yeah.
Like, especially getting some stuff in this game. Like, it makes me more interested, too. Like,
he's mysterious.
Yeah. And just all right, I hate the world, so I'm making my own. Like,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's a wild thing to do.
Yeah, that's like a wild villain. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Christian on Twitter wrote in and said, very underrated, improved gameplay-wise by increasing the depth of the plasmids, weapons, and combining their uses. Only drawbacks I would say is the story, although not bad. It was much simpler and it was much simpler. Also, I liked the underwater segments. Both were greatly improved on the DLC. That's also good to hear. It sounds like the DLC is just basically a better version of BioShock 2, which is great.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Have a nice day on Twitter says very good.
And then Andrew on Twitter said thumbs down, so didn't
like this one.
like BioShock 2 so much.
Fair.
Yeah.
Some people did not.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's BioShock 2. I would say overall, pretty solid game. I enjoyed it. I am looking forward to the DLC and ultimately getting to Infinite at some point too. I heard a rumor recently that's supposedly going to do a BioShock 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which would be cool.
I'd for sure play it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, so I'm kind of like, I'm sure we won't, but I'm like, oh man, E3, are they going to announce something for us? Like, I wonder if it's further off than that, but that'd be kind of sick.
That'd be awesome.
I'd play more BioShock for sure.
I'd play as many BioShocks as they make, as long as they don't suck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I guess they'd probably have a mulligan. They're probably allowed to have one bad one, because if this one counts as the bad one, it's still pretty solid.
Yeah, it's still a fun game.
Yeah, still pretty fun. So, also, good game, great game. They did an episode on BioShock 2, so definitely go listen to that. Yeah, they're really fun. And they did one on this, so I recommend that. Please rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Let us know what you think of this or other stuff. You can write into us at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed at Gmail or on Twitter at StoryEverPod. Also, we've got a couple bonus episodes that have been put out that are not YouTube exclusive exactly, but they're on YouTube there, and then they are also like direct downloads. So they don't show up in our normal podcast feed, but links have been posted. YouTube is probably the easiest way, but the direct downloads are on Twitter and I think on our website technically, but I don't know how easy that is to search or not search. I've only come from it on the publishing side, so there's that. But if you are interested in kind of other stuff, what we've basically just put on there is stuff kind of related to games, but aren't maybe directly games kind of thing. So we didn't want to put them in the main feed, but if you want more content, there is a little bit more. So check out YouTube for that. And links to that are YouTube link is definitely on Twitter and stuff like that, so you can get it there. Message me if you can't find it. Yeah, so there's that, and I guess we will see you next time.
Yep. Bye.